Mission control, we are go for speech. All right, that's it. That's the last NASA reference of this speech, all right? I promise, probably. So, my mom is awesome, right? She's a poet, and she's wise, and she pisses me off regularly and pushes me, and she gave me a piece of advice about writing that I'm gonna blatantly disregard right now, right? She said, no on-ramps, right? So that means don't explain anything, don't beat around the bush, no BS, just get to it, right? So I'm disregarding that part. I'm gonna give you all an out because this presentation might be a little much for some of you. You know, this is gonna be really, really, really all the reallys to the nth degree real, and it has nothing to do, at least directly, with our jobs in public service. I'm not talking about anything technical. I'm not talking about anything that has to do with computers. I'm not talking about how to anything except live a good life. So, if you're looking for something technical, if you're looking for something that has to do with government, there are all sorts of other people out there who are doing awesome speeches right now. There's someone from Joplin, Missouri who's talking about the framework that she used to do the response to the tornado that totally leveled the town. There's someone who's from Oregon who's talking about mobile app governance stuff. We rode down in the elevator together, and I was like, we need to work on your title. And so I kept asking him, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We finally got to a point where if he would have talked to me yesterday, he could have totally reorganized his deck into a stalker theme. It would have been awesome. But these people are out there doing their thing. And so if you want to learn something that you can take back to your office and go to your boss and be like, look how I justified NAGW. There's the door, go. So if you, and if you get like, say into slide 50, because there are 178 slides in this deck, right? If you get to slide 50 and you're like, bullshit, door, right? The stuff in this presentation is sacred and it's awesome. And it's deeply personal. And I'm terrified to be up here in front of you all putting this out there, right? So, like the more of you who go through the door, then the more I'm like, oh God, there's more people not gonna yell at me later, all right? So, fair warning, you come up to me later tonight with your drink in your hand, you're like, you sucked. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I had permission. All right, so, clicker, do your thing. Clicker, all right. We're gonna, please check to make sure the power is on. All right, we're gonna recycle. Click. Oh, for crying out loud. Really, already? Let's do the thing. Let's stop. All right, let's start. Maybe one of these days. You know, all right, so maybe this isn't the last NASA reference I was gonna make. Maybe we're gonna be like, holding and screwing up, and let's start over, and all right, that's okay. No big deal. I still have permission. Click. Yes! Wins. All right. So, I'm not done with the on-ramp yet. Sorry, Mom. It's just the way it is. It's your fault, Mom. You're the one who raised me. All right. So, and she's probably watching because of Facebook Live. Yes! Oh, God, not yet. All right, well, good. Then Mom doesn't get to see all the stuff. So, foundations. Who am I? Oh, I lied. Technical, right? Little Linux command line action, but I promise it's the last one, all right? So brief introductions, well, more. Red dot, that's where I live. And we are there. So that's like 1,500-ish miles. It was a long walk, boy, let me tell you. But beautiful, you know, there's all sorts of good scenery up there, yeah? I live on the shore of Lake Superior, and I am unabashedly in love with the biggest freshwater lake by surface area, not by volume or depth, in the world. And also, if you adhere to the like Nishihiron hydrological complex theory, door, right? Just saying. Biggest lake ever. And this is what it looks like. This is halfway point through my 5K run that I do in the mornings. Yay for beauty. This is an entirely non-technical presentation, except for the who am I slide, right? And it's about the most important thing in your life, right? This is about living it. This is about doing it. This is about why. Not the little why, not the like, how do I update my blah, blah, blah. This is about the big why. This is about capital W, Y, all right? And a small warning, what did you just do? There will be profanity. I already have. I have important speaker notes, right? I might go a little quickly, just saying, right? So try to keep up. Yeah, so I'm going to try to tone it down, right? So I believe that profanity is like garlic, and that you should never make a meal without garlic. And there's a problem with guacamole in San Antonio. I'm here to tell you today, brothers and sisters, the guacamole in San Antonio is made without garlic, and that's not okay. That's not. I've had garlic made at my table side twice now. No garlic, too many oranges. What the heck, San Antonio? Seriously. So profanity is like garlic. Right? It's got to be in every meal, in every conversation, but you can go overboard. You can have too much garlic. It's possible. I haven't yet. I was in San Francisco. I went to the Stinking Rose restaurant. Anyone been to the Stinking Rose? Am I the only one? I'm going to highlight my hand because I rock. Stinking Rose restaurant is a restaurant based on garlic, right? Everything they make has garlic. Garlic ice cream. Oh my God, it's like heaven on earth in my mouth. It's beautiful. Profanity. And there's going to be spirituality. The stuff I'm talking about here gets at the core of who we are. I'm not going to be talking about religion because there's, in my mind, and in my mind alone, and this is totally my little thing here, this does not represent the views of NAGW in any way, shape, or form. There's a separation between spirituality and religion, right? So I think spirituality is my connection with the universe, with God, with whatever you want to call it. And religion is the traditions that go along with that and how people choose to connect with that, right? So I'm talking spirituality, not going to talk religion, not going to talk politics probably. But by the end of this, you'll know exactly where I stand on all things ever, including garlic and profanity. So I'm not going to censor myself. This thing that I'm talking about here today is too important. It requires me to be brutally honest with you. It requires the truth. And because I love you all, because you're part of my NAGW family, I'm going to deliver as best as I possibly can. I'm going to lay it down as I see it. I'm not going to say, well, you could use Linux command line. Bash is nice. Emacs is good, or you could use V. No, you're going to use V, my friends. It is a V house. I'm just here to tell you, right? So can I get a show of hands? Anyone here think I have the passion to go through the next 160 slides? Yeah, thank you. I'm all right. You're with me. I'm with you. So sorry, not sorry. Neither is Lenny, because, Lenny, whatever. So I'm going to go to Buddhism next here, right? And I'm going to lay down some beautiful fundamental truths of the world. These are things that these ideas are not Buddhist in nature. The only reason I'm going to Buddhism is because I brought these things to you from a Buddhist monk who's a really beautiful, short, bald-headed dude in saffron robes named Thich Nhat Hanh. He's from Vietnam, and he's kind of distilled these things down. And you've got his version in front of you in the handouts for those of you who are lucky and generous and Johnny on the spot enough to be here ASAP. You've got his full thing in front of you, but I'm going to give you the shortened and abbreviated version. And at first glance, these are going to be downers, right? You're going to see these things, you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Those isn't beautiful truths, but they are, because they're liberating, right? So I'm going to get old. You all are going to get old. We're all going to get sick. We're all going to die, right? At some point. Maybe a meteorite is going to come smooshing through this hotel, and poof, there we go. Maybe we're going to live to be 117, maybe 111. I mean, technology, medical technology is awesome, right? Everything and everyone that I love and that I hold dear is going to change. I'm going to lose it all. Every single part. I'm going to lose it through death. I'm going to lose my partner through death, or I'm going to die, or we're going to be like, hey, you know what? Get lost. I got better things. None of us know, right? And my actions are the only true belongings I have. So in terms of what I carry with me, what you all carry with you through the world is what you do. It's not what you say. It's not how you dress. It's not the car that you drive, although my 2012 cherry red Camry SE with the paddle shifters and the Bluetooth and the really nice new tires. But the car is going to get smooshed or it's going to rust out because, northern Wisconsin, Lake Superior, deep winter, salt on the road, whatever, it's going to go away. It's going to change. And that's just an unescapable truth. If you don't like the Buddhist version, go with physics. Who here likes science? All right, so science, laws of thermodynamics. Go with me, right? What's the first law of thermodynamics? No such thing as a free lunch, right? I'm sure that's exactly how it's written on Wikipedia. Second law, you can't get close, so stop trying, damn it. Third law of thermodynamics, everything breaks. Buddha entropy, whatever. So we're saying the same thing. Buddhists and physicists are exactly the same except for how they dress to go to work, right? Just throwing that out there. So here is the 5 remembrances in visual form for those of us who are visual learners. I thought that this was a beautiful image, and it actually brought a few tears to my eyes because I'm kind of, I've been there, I'm there, I'm gonna be here. I might be here if I'm lucky. I'm definitely gonna be there, all right? So let that sink in for a minute. So daring greatly. This is also the slide where I say, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to read something to you here. I've got some invocations that some are poems, some are prose. I'm going to read a little to you. So this first invocation is Everything is Waiting for You by an amazing Irish poet named David Whyte. That's David Whyte. Everything is waiting for you. Your great mistake is to act the drama as if you were alone, as if life were a progressive and cunning crime with no witness to the tiny hidden transgressions. To feel abandoned is to deny the intimacy of your surroundings. Surely, even you at times have felt the grand array, the swelling presence and the chorus crowding out your solo voice. You must note the way the soap dish enables you, or the window latch grants you freedom. Alertness is a hidden discipline of familiarity. The stairs are your mentor of things to come. The doors have always been there to frighten you and invite you. And the tiny speaker in the phone is your dream ladder to divinity. Put down the weight of your aloneness and ease into the conversation. The kettle is singing even as it pours you a drink. The cooking pots have left their arrogant aloofness and seen the good in you at last. All the birds and creatures of the world are unutterably themselves. Everything is waiting for you. So that's what David Whyte has to say about that. Okay, should I just stop right there? Should I just be like, mic drop, done? Just walk off? How many slides do I have left? Oh, good. Only 142 to go. We're going to get there, friends. So a little note on usage, right? We've got dream, we've got art. And I mean these to kind of represent the same thing. These are the things that we have to do. These are the burning hidden desires inside ourselves. They're the lava pools that swell under our Yellowstone exteriors and are eventually, whether we like it or not, whether we control it or not, whether we allow it or not, are going to blow our tops off and destroy life as we know it and create something new and beautiful and ready for the erosion processes of our particular planets to come down and transform and grow through volcanic ash, and it's going to be fantastic, right? It could also mean like watercolors. So, either way. So let's get into qualifications and confessional, right? So this is going to be fun because confessionals are good. Who doesn't like to hear someone else confess, right? I'm a lover of the world. Things turn me on. So one of the things that turns me on is my lawn. How many people here have ever laid down on your lawn and looked at a blade of grass and seen the structure of veins and capillaries in a single blade of grass and thought about nutrients flowing or water flowing and transpiration and the intake of carbon dioxide and the outgassing of oxygen, and then you look up and you see your lawn and you're like, whoa, holy crap, right? I love the world. It is awesome and unbelievably amazing. And speaking of laying on the lawn, I'm good at that. I'm really good at putting off things that I could do today because there's tomorrow, probably, except for remembrance number 4, silly Buddhism, physics, boo. I'm a dreamer, right? I have all kinds of notebooks like this one that has lists and plans and mind maps and awesomeness, and there's like maybe 0.5% that's moved from ink to atoms, maybe. That's cool. Dreams are good. That's what we're here to talk about, right? So this is me. I love the world. I love being covered in ice while I'm training for a 38-mile ski race. Because, winter's all right. It's not bad. So, all right, little side digression. Winter versus summer. You can only take so many clothes off. Just saying, throwing that out there. All right, so here are a list of my dreams. I want to be, when I grow up, a writer, a musician, an athlete, a lover, a father, a warrior, a healer, an adventurer, an entrepreneur. I want to be compassionate and wise. And there's always more. So every star in the Iris Nebula is like one of my dreams that I either have had or do have or will have. And I figure it's probably the same for all of you because I'm a human and you're a human and we're all in this together and all kind of separate too, But it's cool to dream. It's awesome. That's really a lovely, beautiful, magical thing. But, don't take my word for it, right? I mean, dreams are these critical internal communications. It's your subconsciousness telling you what's up. It's the sum of your experiences being like, AJ, listen. You need to do this thing. This thing is important. It's critical. It's magical, right? Dreams are a route to freedom. I work for the man just like you. I work for the county. I make $40,000 a year. Work for the man, I go to a job and work 8 hours a day, get my paycheck, I do web stuff. I do security stuff. And in the background, I have these dreams percolating. I dream of the 52-foot schooner that my kids and I sail on Lake Superior sometimes. I dream of running long races with my friends. I dream of this, all right, so another little transgression, or digression, maybe it's a transgression too, we'll see. There's this thing, there's this race, there's this winter ultra ski race in northern Wisconsin where they grow stupid people like me who say, hey, it's a great idea, let's ski 80 miles all in one shot on a snowmobile trail that's not groomed for cross-country skiing, and you know what else? No support. Here's the start, here's the finish. Good luck, see you in 30 hours. That's one of them for me. That's one of my dreams that provides me freedom, Dreams are about joy, and they're about beauty, and they're about struggle, especially struggle, and especially joy, and especially beauty. You can't separate these things because beautiful things and things that bring you joy are often hard. They're often the hard things, Sometimes not. Sometimes you can pet the puppy. You're like, oh, puppy. And sometimes you gotta leave everything. You gotta drop everything. You have to actually wake up one day and be like, everything must go. Everything has to change. And you gotta be honest, and that's struggle, my friends, with a capital R right here in River City. Wait, does struggle start with R? I forget. Wait, maybe not. Struggle looks like that sometimes. Out of the barren, desolate, cracked crap, dandelions or snapdragons or, punk rock, whatever. It's all good. So dreams are ignition. They're a fire. They are impetus. Dreams push. They shove. Dreams, some of them are irresistible. Some of them, if you fight them, they will trample you like a pissed off elephant looking for a peanut in your pocket. They'll bring it. Just saying. Dreams are our internal navigation. Dreams show us how to go. They're the wind. Dreams are the wind on which we sail. Without dreams, we don't go anywhere. Without dreams, we go to work. We punch in, we punch out, and we're like, hey boss, I updated the web server. Yay! There's much rejoicing. All right, time for invocation number 2. The God of four words. I gotta come over here for this one because printing fail. That's okay. It's all good. So the God of four words was, excuse me, written in the 1300s by a Persian poet named Hafez. And here it is. Every child has known God, not the God of names, not the God of don'ts, not the God who ever does anything weird, but the God who knows only four words and keeps repeating them, saying, come dance with me, come dance. And now we're going to take a brief intermission while I figure out why my computer is not charging. Charging is good. Come on, power. There's power. Yay, power. Okay. Did I mention that I work in IT and I'm really good at unplugging and plugging things back in? So one of my other prime job skill is I actually have this on my resume that I've been rebuilding. I'm a professional please waiter. You know, have you ever installed software? It's like, please wait. Done updates, please wait. You know, tried to restore backups, please wait. You know, asked for a raise, please wait. What do I say? I'm good at it. All right, so clicker, back to our show. Click, yay, got it, four words. Come dance with me. All right, so let's talk about the fire, all right? Who here knows the fire? Who has sat in the fire? Who has been in the fire, melted down, turned into slag, and come out the other side in different shapes, in different form, in different burnished, beautiful, whatever. The fire sucks, and it's awesome, and it's an integral part of our evolution. So let's talk caterpillars and butterflies for a sec. There's no fire in the cocoon, but what there is there's goo. Did you know that when caterpillars make a cocoon, they literally freaking dissolve? When scientists have done x-rays and CAT scans and whatever scientists have done to poor caterpillars that are cocoons, just leave them alone, guys. They're doing important work. The caterpillar dissolves all the way. There's no recognizable anything left. There's this amorphous swirling mass. And out of that is reassembled all the components of a butterfly. And the butterfly comes out of the cocoon and is like, wow, that was something. But the butterfly doesn't come out and say, I'm beautiful, because a butterfly can't look over its shoulder and see its wings. Butterflies have no idea what they look like because their eyes are looking out for food, which happens to be flowers, you know, unless you live in northern Wisconsin with the nighttime predatory Amazonian deep biting hummingbird butterfly moth thing, whatever, I'm totally making that up, can you tell? Butterflies don't know how beautiful they are, and they come out of this amorphous goo, this mess that another life left behind, right? So I'm glad that some of you feel that, and I'm sorry that the rest of you, and probably really, honestly, if I'm really being honest with you, which I promise I would do, we're all gonna do, again, you know, 38 times more, I don't know. It's different for all of us. It's good stuff, though. For those of you who haven't done it yet, good luck, Godspeed, may the force be with you, and it'll be good on the other side, I promise. So let's talk about why we fail, right? So we all have tar pits that we get caught up in. One of my favorite tar pits, oh, this is a good one, being versus doing, right? So I said I want to be a writer. I want to be a writer. I want to be someone who has written, right? I want to be able to be like, that's my book. All those books over there, those are my books. But what do you have to do to be a writer? You got to do the writing, right? And that sucks. It means early mornings, and it means late nights, and it means sitting down and looking at a blank page and being like, or something. It means starting. It means taking that first step. It means putting it out there. It means faith. It means bravery. It means a sore butt. It means gnarled fingers. It means repetitive stress injury. But those books, dude, those books, those ones right there, those are all mine. Yeah, it's good stuff. Insecurity is another one of my favorite tar pits. You know, you may not think it listening to me because I like being in front of people and I kind of feed on your energy and I try to keep it back and it's awesome. But if you ask anyone who really knows me, I'm the sort of person who's always like, man, I don't really know what I'm doing. I really want to do this other thing. I'm not really good enough. And I really kind of suck. I'm slow or I'm fast or I need to slow the fuck down, it's whatever, yeah, insecurity. And I'm sure that these are going to sound familiar to you guys. Like, who am I to be talking about this stuff? I'm just a guy. I'm just a webmaster from northern Wisconsin. My county has 13,000 people and count them, 0 stoplights. Who am I to be talking to you guys about dreams and the fire and butterflies and caterpillars and stupid internal editors? Who here has ever written something about like, oh, no, I can't possibly send that? Am I the only one? Oh, thank you. I'm glad, because I was gonna offer to hire my internal editor if he's totally looking for a job, because they keep trying to kick him out, get out. But you won't leave me alone. Here's the orgy of postmodern self-doubt. Oh, it's all been done before. I couldn't possibly, but Arsenio, whatever, I don't know. I just kind of put it, orgy of postmodern self-doubt, because I thought it sounded cool. It's one of those things where it's like, ooh, that's my baby. Any of you who are writers who are like pursuing writing as a craft have probably heard the phrase, kill your babies. It's one of my babies that survived. So it goes. We feel overwhelmed. We have external distractions. We have naysayers. We have people, excuse me, we have these bastards we have these jerks who come into our worlds and are like, AJ, you can't, you shan't, you shouldn't, you won't, you may not. And I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. What are we to do? Well, this is easy. and really, really hard, right? What we do is we turn them all off. We say goodbye. We say adios. We say, there's the door. We say, get fucked, right? We bring Samuel L. Jackson to the table. We say, Sammy, I need you, man. You got my back here, right? Anytime you get naysayers in your life, just give them that. I can make stickers. If you guys if you want to go together with me, we'll all throw in like $5. We'll make stickers, and we can just hand them out to people. Be like, Samuel L. Jackson is staring motherfuckerly at you right now. So just shut up, there's the door, go, right? We don't need any of that stuff. This is hard enough. Our dreams, following our dreams, doing what we're put here to do, whether that's whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your dream is. It's hard enough without all this external stuff, without other people coming and saying you can't, you shouldn't, you won't. There's no possible way, AJ, that you're good enough to do the thing, right? That's all bullshit, by the way. You guys are all totally good enough to do the thing. And I have proof of that. And the proof is that you're here listening to me. You're interested in doing the thing, right? So that's cool. And it's after lunch. I mean, what more proof do you need? If you go after lunch, come to a session and be like, yeah, let's do the thing. Let's talk about dreams. You're in. I'll put in a good word with you, with the universe. So we need the chase. It's key, it's critical. We have to do it. To not do it is to deny ourselves the very thing that gives our lives meaning, right? So what it ain't about, I use ain't, because ain't a word that ain't in the dictionary. I'm getting your attention with the word ain't. See what I did there? That's sweet. It's not about money. It's not about status. It's not about recognition. It's not about these external things, right? That's not why we have dreams. It's not why we have to chase dreams. It's not why we sit in the fire. It's not why I sat in the damn fire. It's not because I'm going to sit in the fire and get rich. No, I'm sorry. It's not. What it is about, it's about high passion and unreasonable ambition. It's about the grand stretch for things and the internal fire and the deep night companion, the one that wakes you up at 3 a.m. and says, this is the thing. Write it down. You're going to forget in the morning. I'll remember. No, you won't. Yes, I will. Oh, what was that thing? The deep night companion. It's the rocky uphill path. It's doing the hard thing. It's like, here's a nice paved downhill cart path. You can take the golf cart. You can ride. We have mimosas. Or there's the field of rubble that goes up the freaking mountainside into the clouds and the rain and the ice. And I have holy tennis shoes on and my running shorts. I'm like, oh, God, the rocky uphill path. I love to hate you. It's the terrifying thing, the thing that must be done. We all have the thing that must be done, right? Today, right now, this very moment, my thing that must be done is laying down this presentation for you guys. This has been something I've been thinking about for 9 months, right? I'm going to take another little side trip here. Come with me, if you will. So the way that I present speeches to NAGW, and this is like my 6th or my 7th now, is that in January, when I call for speeches, I say, what do I want to learn about, right? Not what do I know, what do I want to learn about? And then I write to NAGW, AJ is an expert in blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, send. Oh, look what I did. And then NAGW's like, ooh, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah, let's have him come here and do the thing, right? And I'm like, uh-oh. Now AJ has to learn about the thing, right? And come present to all of you folks. And so that's what I did here, right? And this is as much for me as it is for you guys. This is as much telling me, AJ, get off your butt and do the thing, as it is telling you all, get off your butt and do the thing, right? So thanks for making it happen. I appreciate that. So what really matters? What do you think really matters? It's not ice cream. Ice cream is really good. It's not ice cream. Ice cream is not. Ice cream might be the thing. Anyone have ice cream here? I could use some ice cream. That would be really good. Showing up matters, right? To be able to chase our dream, we got to show up. We have to strive. We have the daily struggle. If this dude didn't show up, he's not going to be the photo shoot model for this awesome piece of clip art that I have. You know, he wouldn't get paid. He wouldn't be able to go and climb the place that he really wants to. You know, there he's probably like 6 feet off the ground and all staged and like airbrushed and sprayed, like, oh, artfully drape your chalk bag on your left side and reach up and strive, you know. But this is probably the dude's day job. And he probably does it so that he can go climb the things that he really wants to climb. So this little piece of advice is I gotta click, oh, come here. I gotta click on the thing to make sure that I tell you that this piece of advice is from Samuel Beckett, right? Because this is a critical piece of advice. And critical pieces of advice get attribution, unlike clip art photos, which we don't care who shot it or who's in it. Samuel Beckett, Irish playwright, poet, he won this little medal for doing his thing. It's the Nobel Prize in Literature. He's pretty good at what he does. This is a little condensed version of this advice. I've been thinking about getting my first ever tattoo. What do you think it might be? Oh, that. Right? Try again. Fail better. That's profound. That's huge. That's amazing advice from someone who did the thing that I want to do. Samuel L. Beckett was a capital W writer, my friends. He was the beshizit. He was doing the stuff, right? He was the man. And he talked about failing. He talked about sucking and being like, well, okay, so that sucked. Let's try it again. Let's do better next time. Invocation number 3. Who here has ever read anything by Neil Gaiman? Yeah? Awesome. Well done. Those of you who didn't raise your hands, boo, shame on you, go to a bookstore. All right. So what I'm going to read to you here is Neil Gaiman talking to a bunch of newly minted graduates from the University of the Arts in 2012. He did this amazing commencement address. It goes on for a long, long time, and every word is very inspirational, and I chose 3 of them, and also a couple more. Life is sometimes hard. Things go wrong in life and in love and in business and in friendship and in health and in all the other ways that life can go wrong. And when things get tough, this is what you should do. Make good art. I'm serious. Husband runs off with a politician? Make good art. Leg crushed and then eaten by a mutated boa constrictor? Make good art. IRS on your trail? Make good art. Cat exploded? Make good art. Someone on the internet thinks what you're doing is stupid or evil or it's all been done before. Does that sound at all familiar to anybody? Make good art. Probably things will work out somehow. Eventually time will take the sting away and that doesn't even matter. Do what only you can do best. Make good art. Make it on the bad days. Make it on the good days too. And there's more in the middle here. I'm going to leave that up as an exercise to you all, but there's a little bit at the end that's really important because it's part at the end that I'm about to read to you. Kind of laid the foundation for all of what I'm doing today and what I'm talking about. And that is this. I hope that in this year to come, you make mistakes. Because if you are making mistakes and you are making new things, you're trying new things, learning, living, pushing yourself, changing your world, you're doing things you've never done before. And more importantly, you're doing something. So that's my wish for you and all of us, and my wish for myself. Make new mistakes. Make glorious and amazing mistakes. Make mistakes nobody's ever made before. Don't freeze. Don't stop. Don't worry that it isn't good enough or it isn't perfect or whatever it is, art or love or work or family or life. Whatever it is you're scared of doing, do it. All right. So Neil Gaiman. Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it. It's good stuff. Oh, that's totally what I wanted to have you guys looking at while I was reading. Sorry, my bad. Isn't that awesome? It's cool. I like. All right, so the chase. We've talked about why dreams are important. We've talked about how AJ ignores his mom's advice. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. Now, let's talk about how to go get it, right? How are we going to do this thing? How are we going to figure out how to chase a dream, right? So the chase is a bunch of things. The chase itself, actually pursuing the thing, is a form of art, right? How we chase, how we do that art, is as important as what we chase, and maybe more important, depending on who you talk to, and when, and also why, and what you feed them when you're talking to them, and what you pour in their glass. No, you see what I'm going. So you have to take time. You have to give yourself time to do this. Dreams don't happen overnight. Mark Zuckerberg didn't happen overnight. Bill Gates didn't happen overnight. Samuel Beckett surely didn't happen overnight. All this stuff, there's groundwork, there's time, there's thought, there's investment, and there's involvement, and there's this deep emotional commitment, but it all takes time. You have to use good tools. So I'm a writer, and part of my process is that I write longhand, right? Like I was showing you, this stuff. I've got, a box of like 30 of these things that I've filled up this year alone, and that will never see the light of day, and that's not the point anyway. The point is that I have a pen. I'm really specific about my pen. Let me tell you about my pen. My pen lives in this very fine, custom, handmade, hand-tooled, and taped pen holder, and right here, it's the Pilot G2. It's not the ultra fine, and it's not the fine, it's the medium, because the medium spews ink like it means it, and it's not parsimonious. It's not like, I'm going to scratch across the paper, make this thin little line. That's going to be, no. The medium is like, look, we got stuff to do, and we're going to do it right now. Ink on paper. And then ink on hands, and ink, on the table, and if I have an itch, then ink on my face, and whatever, it's awesome. And that's one of my good tools. My other good tool is a stupid 89-cent yellow legal pad. It's got to be legal size because letter size is not big enough. I turn them sideways, so check this out. I'm going to show you guys this because this is kind of cool and kind of weird. And it's an excellent illustration of, wrong one. There we go. I go sideways. Yay for sideways. I turn this thing sideways, and I write in 2 columns, right? Because my hand has to be on the paper when I'm writing. And if I write in portrait mode, I get down here, and I'm like, I've got all the space left that my German grandmother demands that I use, but my hand is off the paper, and I don't know what to do. So I don't know how that works, but I got to go back to my speaker notes. There we go. So these are my tools. My process is I get up really early in the morning. I stick my head outside my door, and sometimes I go and stand out in northern Wisconsin in the winter in nothing but my underwear, and I look up at the stars and the Milky Way above me, and I say, hey guys, thanks. And I'm like, that's cold, and go back inside, and I sit down at my kitchen table because my house is tiny. It's like 800 square feet, and that's the space that I have is my kitchen table. And, I push stuff to the side because I've got two little kids, 8 and 11-year-old boys, and they're like, hey, it's a kitchen table. Let's put stuff on it, put stuff on it, put stuff on it, and I push stuff to the side, I sit down, and I start writing. And I use my tools. And your tools might be a computer. I've got friends who write on very nice, very small, elegant Mac notebook computers, and they're like, tippy, 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 tippy. That's awesome. They're doing their thing. They're using their tools, right? I've got friends who are athletes who have $10,000 worth of bike kit. I'm a biker. I love riding long distances. And they ride, like $8,000 bikes and $2,000 outfits and the shoes and the clips and the pedals and everything. And they're beautiful. And I show up on my bike that my dad bought in Yankton, South Dakota in 1974 when he was a college freshman. And it's rusty and it's muddy. And I put fenders on it because I ride in the slush and the rain. And I put an old school British leather saddle on it that adds like 8 pounds to my ride. And I show up in my 5-year-old spandex, the one pair that the logo's worn off and there's a hole in the thigh and it goes squeak, 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 that sort of thing. And I go and I ride. And usually by the end of the ride, and I tell you guys a little secret, usually by the end of the ride, the $10,000 people are like way back there. I'm like, hey guys, should I wait for you? Maybe. It's about the tools that work for us. It's not about the tools that work for somebody else. So for me, I'm kind of lo-fi. I'm kind of old school. Until you put me in front of a computer, then that all changes. But if not in front of a computer, paper is good. My old rusty steel ride, it's good. It's good tools, right? We have to employ ritual. We have to light incense to bless the house. We have to make coffee in a French press maker every morning and not use the drip pot. We have to go out and greet the stars or put our faces up into the rain. We have to get on the old bike with the old clothes and be like, I'm gonna race you. We gotta do whatever we gotta do to make the thing happen. It doesn't matter what the ritual is. It doesn't matter if the ritual is I get up, I watch 2 episodes of the Flintstones, I eat a jelly donut, and I sit down to do the thing. That is totally valid, and it actually sounds way more comfortable than going out standing in the snow and saying hi to the stars. Just saying, if that's your ritual, good call. But we don't, sometimes we get to maybe build our ritual, we get to guide it, but we also got to listen, right? We got to listen to ourselves and the universe and what it's telling us to do. We got to make mistakes. We have to suck. So when I started riding my bike again, so I kind of like grew up in high school as a country kid, so whenever I wanted to do anything, if I wanted to go to a friend's house, it's like, hey, it's just 10 miles over there. See you, Mom. I'm going to go ride over to a friend's house. And I put the bike away because I grew up. Boo. My kid, who was then 4, a few years ago, came to me and said, Dad, let's go for a bike ride. Put the pedals back on my bike. I took the pedals off so he could have like a little balance bike and learn how to do his thing. Also, by the way, that's an awesome way to teach a kid how to ride the bike. Take the pedals off, then you got to balance, push themselves around, and then they get all badass and gnarly, and it's great. So he was like, Dad, I want the pedals back on. I went, all right, let's put the pedals back on. So he rode around in the driveway for a few minutes. He was like, I'm bored. Let's go for a ride. I'm like, yeah, let's go for a ride. And so we did. We rode down a gravel road next to our house, and then we came back, and I put him away, and I'm like, I need to go ride. This is clearly the thing. And so I went for a ride, and it sucked. I went like 20 minutes, and I came back, I was like, die. I was sweating and drenched, and I was 100 pounds heavier than I am right now. And that sucked. And I was slow and uncomfortable, and oh my God, best thing ever. Best thing ever. I learned to do better, So I went out for a sucky bike ride, and I was like, well, what can I do better? Well, maybe I should take water with me. Maybe I should wear a helmet, for crying out loud. Maybe I could get a pair of bike shorts. Maybe I could write more. Maybe I could use different tools. Maybe I could carve a little space out of my day. Interesting thing about carving space. Did you know that if you carve like 5 minutes out of your day and you sit down, you have to say, you can stand, you write one paragraph, 200 words. It take your pen and be like, and then the dog jumped over the quick brown fox. Oh wait, that's not how it went at all. But let me tell you a real story. Period. Done. You walk away. 200 words a day. Every single day. At the end of that year, you have 90,000 words. You know what 90,000 words is? That's a freaking novel. And most writers take 3 years to do a novel because the first year they're like, oh, I'm a writer. And the second year they're like, well, I wonder who's going to buy this fabulous thing that I haven't written. And then the third year they're like, uh-oh, gotta write, and then they write more and more and more up to their deadlines, whatever it is, until like the last week they're like 5,000 words a day, but 200 words a day gets the job done just as well and doesn't irritate your friends nearly as much. Just putting that out there, right? We have to find our own voice. We have to not chase, we have to not dream and not do the same things that other people do because they're other people. If you guys come up and you're like, AJ, I want to have your experiences. Come on board. Let's go biking and skiing and sailing and swimming in 35-degree water because we're insane and get up in front of people and talk about scary things. And you're like, maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. If you want to, you're totally welcome. You can raise the population of my county by like 0.001% all by yourself. It'll be awesome. Tax base, But you have to do it your own way, right? And doing it your own way is a slog. I'm here to tell you, it's long, it's hard, it's slow, it's tedious, it can hurt. I ran my first ever half marathon the day before I came here. I have 3 toenails that are never going to see the light of day again. Let me tell you what, they're like, I give up. Just, bury me. I spent the first 2 days here in San Antonio on the Riverwalk being like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. That was awesome. I wouldn't change that experience for anything. I rocked that. Let me tell you what, that was sweet. And it hurt, It can be dangerous. This is Evel Knievel's great-grandfather. We call him Mr. Evil, But this is his thing. Why else would you jump over a steam locomotive if it's not your thing, right? We all have our own things. I'm just saying, Mr. Evil. He was like, I'm going to take the first ever motorcycle with a teeny tiny unreliable engine. I'm going to go really fast, like 40 miles an hour. I'm going to jump through the cloud of steam over the locomotive. What could possibly go wrong? Yes! Oh, you got to do it every day? Really? Every day? Yes. Every stinking day. You got to show up. You got to strive. You got to do the thing in it. I would throw the clicker, but then my boss would be mad. It sucks. It's hard. And you have my permission to quit later. So you remember that 80-mile ski race I was telling you about, the one where there's no support? So I didn't tell you that you got to bring all your stuff, so people put it in a sled, and they're sledding along the snowmobile trail through the middle of the night with the headlamp and the red blinky light so they don't get run over by the snowmobiles because the trail isn't closed. They're just having a race on it. So I did the half version of that a couple years ago. I did 38 miles of that garbage. I was going along with a friend that I made there, and he was like, this sucks. I was like, yeah, this sucks. And he was like, I quit. I'm like, yeah, I quit too. And he was like, later. I'm like, yeah, I quit later, right? So we gave each other permission to quit at the next road crossing. And then we got to the next road, and we're like, there aren't any cars. How are we going to get a ride? Screw it. We'll quit at the next road crossing. And we got there, and there was a car. It was full of other people who had already quit. We're like, well, how about we quit at the next town we come to? And we're like, okay, next town, finish line. So we quit at the finish line. That's cool. And it took me 10 hours to ski that thing, right? 10 hours. Can you imagine being on your feet for 10 hours, much less skiing? When I started, it was 7 degrees. 7, not 70, not 17, it was 7 degrees. And throughout the day, it got up to 33 degrees. It was a heat wave, 33 degrees. But I was still skiing, and it got colder and darker, and then I finished at 6 p.m. when it was 7 degrees again. And for any of you who know anything about cross-country skiing, who here has ever cross-country skied? Sweet. That's 15 more people than I would have totally thought. So cross-country skis work with wax. You put wax on the bottom, kind of like a surfboard, and they glide on the snow, and the wax has to be tuned for temperature. And so wax temperature ranges are like 5 to 10 degrees, 10 to 20 degrees, 21 to 23 degrees, because if you get the wax right, it's really fast, and anything else, it really sucks, right? You cannot wax for 5 degrees to 35 degrees back to 5 degrees. It does not work. So at one point on this race, I was like sitting at a bar eating a pulled pork barbecue sandwich, being like, this sucks, I want to quit, like trying to deal with wax or whatever. It's later. You can quit later. Invocation number 4. This is 4 More Holes by Carolyn Shannon. So Carolyn is the most contemporary author I'm going to quote today. She's right here. And she has a way of putting stuff out there on her blog that I encourage you all to check out. It's pretty awesome stuff. So check this out while I read to you 4 More Holes. Every single fabulous motherfucker I've ever read, from Bukowski to Leonard Cohen, says doing their art is horrible and hard and they suck at it. And it's a long slog and it takes too long and it's drilling holes and fucking sheet metal. But why shouldn't my work be hard, Cohen said. Almost everybody's work is hard. One is distracted by this notion that there's such thing as inspiration, that it comes fast and easy. Some people are graced by that style, but I'm not. So I have to work hard as any stiff to come up with my payload. Carolyn continues, you can quit tomorrow. Today, drill 4 more holes. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. It's good advice. Solid. Check out Carolyn's blog if you want more solid stuff. So the chase is a slog, and the chase is an art form, and it's a devotion. It's the way that we chase is our prayer to the world. It's the way that we say please and thank you, and here's what I have to offer. It's a supplication to the gods within us or the trolls, right? So, little side note, where the trolls came from, I told you that my mom was a writer, and she went through an MFA program with poets, because she's a poet too. So I say that dismissively. I'm really proud of my mom for what she did, but with poets, whatever, poets. I write poetry too, so I get to say that. We have this ongoing conversation about how we come up with creative impulse, right? And some people say it's the muse, and some people say it's effort, and I say it's the trolls, right? The trolls are those voices inside us that start telling us stories. They start whispering things in the dark. And if we're lucky and we listen to them and we show up and we pay attention and we occasionally bring like a leg of lamb or something with us to feed the trolls, they'll tell us all the good things, all the scary things, and all the important things, and all the real and true things. So the trolls. Our chase is us opening up to the universe. It's us saying, universe, I know that you love me, and I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea, but I'm putting you in my hands, and I'm guide me, take me on. It's prayer, it's faith, it's showing it's allowing us to fuck up, and it's this amazing spiritual. It's like it's awesome. So how? We start where we are, right? It doesn't matter where we are. It's not a competition. It's not something that you even have to share with anyone else. So we do this completely for ourselves. It's a way of taking care of ourselves. We show up. Cinderella had to go to the ball before she could dance, right? She had to show up. You have to do a tiny bit, just a little bit, You have to go easy, but go, You got to take care of yourself. This is a really important one. You have to take care of yourself. It's like being on the airplane, oxygen mask comes down, you're with your kid or your significant other, and you're like, put the mask on yourself first so you don't pass out, so that you can save the people around you. Fill your cup so that you can pour to others. Self-care is critical. You got to do a deep dive, right? You got to, once you figure out what the dream is, what the art is, you got to go for it. You got to do more than dip your toes in. Once you make that decision, you got to go all the way to the bottom of things. You got to turn on the searchlights and you got to look for sea monsters. You got to make outside connections. you can't just be looking for sea monsters in your submersible, because you know what the field of view on a submersible at the bottom of the Marianas Trench is? It's about like this. So unless the giant squid goes right in front of you, it's like, dude, sup? You're going to miss it. But if you talk to other people who have different dreams and different experiences of the world, you're going to be like, oh, giant squid also, live in shallow water, or they live wherever. I don't know anything about giant squid, but I can find people who do, right? I can make these outside connections, and their dreams will inform my dreams. Their art will inform my art. It'll be awesome. And we take one step at a time, right? This goes back to the quit later, These things are long, hard, painful, tough journeys. They're necessary. They're critical. We have to do them. And this is how it works. Everyone check this out. I'm going to demonstrate right now. Ready? Here we go. All right? Check that out. I'm further ahead than I was. And now I'm further ahead, and I'm further ahead, and I'm further ahead. I'm making progress, right? One step at a time. And you want to know how much progress I'm making? I have 9 slides left. Out of 172, I have 9 slides left. One step at a time. How's that for metaphor? That's pretty awesome, huh? Can I get a yeah? Anybody? Oh, that's kind of weak. Yeah! All right. Finally, you have to shampoo, right? I'm not talking about your hair. I'm talking about the process. I'm talking about wash, rinse, and repeat. Say it with me. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat, right? You got to do this all the time. And there's little interesting thing that I learned from my mom, who, when I went to her, I was like, Mom, I'm doing cybersecurity, and I feel like an idiot because everybody I talk to, I'm like, oh my God, update. Oh my God, antivirus. Oh my God, backup. So boring for me. I am not very good at staying on message. I'm just, like you give me the message, I'm like, I could say this once. I could say this twice. I get to time 5, I'm bored, and I get to time 10, and I'm making it up. I get to time 20, and I'm making lyrics and putting it to music and writing scores and casting and getting technical direction from my friends with fog machines. And she said that when you have a message and you're sharing it with people, it's when it's boring to you and it's old hat and you're feeling like you have nothing new to say, that's when the people that you're talking to are like, oh, wait, I heard this really interesting idea the other day. It's one that's just starting to get traction out there, just barely catching on, just by the skin of its little teeth. Right? So that's why shampoo is important, because we're working with multiple versions of ourselves, right? There's AJ the writer, and AJ the artist, and AJ the athlete, and AJ the everything. And I got to convince them all that, hey, these dreams are good, and get on board, and let's do the thing, right? So we're back to beginnings, right? Get on your slide and ride, my friends. Invocation 5. Little Mary Oliver for you. Who here loves Mary Oliver? Yeah, me too. Mary Oliver is another fantastic American poet. And this is what she has to say about the journey. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and a road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. That's what I got. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks. Very kind. So I'm supposed to tell you to fill out this, either the forms in front of you, or use this awesome URL that's you spell it just like it sounds. It's awesome. What's that? Yeah, totally Klingon. And if you have thoughts about this, hit me up. Send me stuff. If you want a copy of my deck, hit me up. If you want to hire me to come motivate people, we should probably buy me a beer before you hit me up. But, right, so awesome. Enjoy the rest of NAGW. Have a good one. Thank you.